we're back here again with another mundane tier list. Tier lists of mundane things no one argues about. And, I think this particular one is going to be a pretty good embodiment of what the whole series is about. I looked up month tier list, and all I could find were, month one patch whatever tier list, and it kind of looks like it's a Smash Ultimate kind of thing. But, I mean month quite literally. We're starting with January. So what really happens in January? You have New Year's. You know, you're partying away. It's a new year, new beginnings, New Year's resolutions, maybe a New Year's kiss if you were lucky. Or not lucky. But after that, what happens? School starts again. If you live somewhere where it snows more. To me, January is the most depressing month of the year. Just because it's snowy, it's bleak. And snow is beautiful and everything until the new year, then it's just okay, it can go away now. January, F tier. February. February, it's still pretty depressing, especially because of Valentine's Day, which when I was a kid, Valentine's Day was all, oh, you get candy in your bag from your classmates. And then when I got a little older, it was like, oh, Valentine's Day, maybe someone will fess up and say they have feelings for me, and I'll finally have love, and yada yada yada. But now it's just a commercial scheme. I sort of dampen the blow of being forever alone by saying that Valentine's Day is a commercial scheme to make people buy candy and flowers and shit. And at this point, even if I did have someone I loved, literally everyone else is celebrating Valentine's Day too. It's just the day of love for everyone. What's so special about it? Some of the worst blizzards and vortexes and stuff can happen around February. So February, I think, deserves a spot in good old E tier. March. Things are starting to look up a bit. Things are potentially starting to warm up, and it's starting to snow a little less. Although, I also remember March being a month involving a lot of ice, which made it impossible for me to go to class some days when I was in school, in college. So, it's getting there weather-wise, but it's still not great. And then you have St. Patrick's Day, and depending on your school, that could be when your spring break is, too. So, March, I'm thinking C tier for March. April. Now, weather-wise, things are seriously starting to look up. Things are starting to warm up. It should only ever snow, once or twice in April. At least where I live, it always manages to snow at least once in April. I remember the first time I ever saw that happen. I was in second grade, I want to say. And it was April, and I was sitting there, and I looked outside, and it was just full-on snowing. And I was completely bewildered. I felt like the world betrayed me. I don't know if I ever verbally said anything, but I was just internally screaming, why the fuck? Why, I didn't know the F word back then, but why the fuck is it snowing outside? And then you have Easter, too, which is nice. You get to eat candy and have dinner with the family, which I guess could be a pro or a con for anyone. And if you're a little kid who likes Easter egg hunts, that's fun too. One Easter egg hunt that I remember, my dad put a bunch of coins in eggs for me and my niece to find, and that was fun. They were silver dollars and stuff like that. So I'm thinking B for April. March down a tier? I can kind of get that. It can get kind of boring. So we have May next. It's seriously starting to warm up in May now. The bugs are coming back, and when I was in elementary school, this was when we got out of school. But then everything just kind of shifted over until we wouldn't get out till near the middle of June. But By the time it gets to May, like, you're starting to look forward to the end of the school year. Like, everything's all warm and everything like that. Mother's Day is in May. And then there's also Memorial Day. So I'm going to go ahead and put May in S tier. So June is next up. Now June, no question, you're definitely into summer now. Your school year's over. It's hotter than all get out outside depending on where you live. June, for me, deserves a spot in A tier. This image is just really pretty to me. July. To me, the 4th of July is always kind of depressing. Because it basically marks, for me anyway, the midway point of summer. Like, when you see fireworks, you're already halfway through summer. It's half over. But, I mean, if you like the 4th of July, you have that to look forward to. And you're really into summer now, and it's super hot outside, and you have all the bugs and the rain, and no turning back on that now. So I think July can go in B tier for now. August kind of feels like a less depressing January, but still kind of depressing. Like, this is your last month of summer, enjoy it. And then nothing else goes on. A lot of people go back to school in August. I live in Michigan, where, I don't know if they changed this recently, but it's been the law for the longest time that school couldn't start until after Labor Day here in Michigan. So for me, August was just, especially in my college days, August was just the month of going shopping for back to school stuff. Feels kind of weird to say I'm out of those days now. I would say August is sort of like a glorified January. Like, the weather's nice at least. I'm gonna put August in E tier. Cold but still hot. I guess that would depend on where you live, because where I live, it is still very much hot. Like, we're still dealing with heat waves and stuff. September, the leaves are starting to change color and school starts. But for me, it's less depressing than it is at this stage, as it is kind of, it's sort of like a weird mixture of nostalgic and exciting. Almost like in a new beginning manner. Not to mention, once it starts getting to fall, you have like a really brief period where the temperatures are perfect. I tried to do like a chef's kiss there, but it didn't work. I think there's a spot in C tier with September's name on it. I'm also realizing I probably should have grabbed a bottle of water before this stream, because my voice is starting to get like, Ooh, the air conditioner just kicked back on, and it feels nice. Because my room is one of those rooms that just takes in all the heat in the house. October is up next. Exactly. One of the best because of Halloween. And I imagine for a lot of people that boots it like all the way up here. Automatically. So I will definitely make sure October goes into like one of these top 3. And you're really getting into fall at this point. And the temperature is a little cold. But honestly, a little cold is just the way I like it. And you also have the leaves falling, which is super cool. Unless you're the one that has to rake them, I guess. It still rains, which scores at some points in my book. And, of course, you have Halloween. Pretty much everyone I know, like, Halloween is their favorite holiday. And I kind of get it. Because, like, spooky movies, candy. Of course, I'm too old to go trick-or-treating now. Until I went off to college, I would pass the candy out every year to the kids. Speaking of which, I wonder how they're going to do that this year with COVID. My mom told me that, I don't know if it was here or somewhere else, but they were thinking about doing a kind of, or almost like a reverse thing, where kids stand in their yards, and then people with candy drive by and toss the candy to them. Almost kind of like a parade kind of thing. And I would love to see that happen. That just sounds like so much fun. Not only from a social distancing standpoint, but just having candy thrown at you, that sounds so thrilling. And then, of course, if you're the one passing out the candy, you buy enough and you get a whole stash of candy to yourself, which is always good. You know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and put October in S tier. For me, November is a little more depressing. In America, you have Thanksgiving. But that's really about it. Like, I'm one of those heathens that will, not in public, but I'll start thinking about Christmas and playing Christmas music immediately after Halloween. And that's just because for me personally, Thanksgiving has never been that special to me. It's pretty much just, get the family together, eat a dinner that had a little more effort put into it, and then that's it. But then you have Black Friday at the end of November. And it's the official start of the holiday season, which for me is definitely a plus. Because I feel like a lot of people have. Well, I guess I could go more into that when we get to December. I was about to say that the first snow usually happens in November, but I feel like some years it gets put off. And then at this point, I feel like all the leaves are going to have fallen off the trees. So now you just got bare twig trees. I think November also deserves a spot in C tier, right by September. And now for the grand finale, which I honestly kind of think it does fit as a quite fitting grand finale to the year. December. I'm a little bit biased because my birthday is in December, so that automatically bumps it up a few tiers for me. I feel like a lot of people have lost their love for Christmas, and I can kind of get that because it has a lot become about like gifts and stuff, but like of course it's still about the family getting together and stuff too. But aside from the obvious, oh, I wonder what gifts I'll get, for me and another thing that sells Christmas for me is just the atmosphere. Like, I don't know what it is about the snowy, decorated atmosphere and Christmas music. Ooh, chef's kiss to Christmas music, too. I think that shit's got me more emotional than any music ever has. And a lot of Christmas music that I listen to that time of year is from my childhood. I actually feel kind of weirdly giddy even just talking about Christmas. And it gets all snowy and stuff too, but it's fitting. You want it to be nice and snowy for Christmas and New Year's, and sometimes on snowy nights. I love how snow makes everything so quiet too. Like when it's snowing, you can just step outside and just hear practically nothing. And it's amazing to me. December, S tier. I don't know why, but talking about December's got me all happy, even though it's August. I feel like these past few years, Christmas has just been here before I've known it. And it's like, wait, we're here already? What happened? Did I inadvertently time travel or something? But honestly, Christmas Eve, I kind of like Christmas Eve more than I do Christmas. Because it's that anticipation. And I like to pretend I believe in Santa. Still. Like, I still write Santa letters and stuff like that. It keeps the magic alive. My favorite Christmas movie is The Polar Express. And I've always wanted, and I watch it every year on Christmas Eve night. Near the end of the movie, they go to the North Pole. And it's like a Christmas town, and I've always wanted to go someplace like that. I guess Amtrak, which is a major train service in the US, actually has like a Polar Express kind of thing. Where they take you, I don't know if it's up to the North Pole, might be. But I feel like that would be super cool. But of course there's COVID now, and even before that I just feel like the trains would be way too crowded. Thank you so much for joining me for this. You are awesome. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.